The year is 1846, and the era of the pirates in Caribbean Sea is dying. Only the most brutal ones remain. A ship is sailing through the storm while they get attacked by a pirate ship. The pirates land and begin brutally killing everyone. Meanwhile, the captain, T.H. Bodden, is hiding in some gold and gets ready to fight. However, he cannot match their strength as they finish everybody and capture him. The pirate captain, Connor, comes across the gold, which has a specific mark. He asks him who gave it to him. His quartermaster, Lee, finds through some documents he is coming from the island named Cayman Brac. They decide to sail toward the island. 6 days later, at Cayman Brac, the island functions peacefully under British colonial rule. Bodden's wife, Ursel, waits for her husband, but there's no sign. At their house, Bodden's sister, Elizabeth, is in her room when her lover, Weston, comes in. They are planning to run away together on his boat. Meanwhile, Ursel returns, and the opening of the gate triggers a bell. Her son, Isaac, wakes up as well. He has a weak leg as he goes to see his mother. Ursel calls Elizabeth and eavesdrops on her room. Isaac calls her, and she attends to him. He feels sad because it's been 59 days since their father went to sea. Ursel comforts him, saying he had even been late to their wedding, so there's nothing to worry about. Elizabeth tells Weston where to meet and lets him go out of the window. She lets Ursel in, and she can see someone's been there. She has come to remind her about Isaac's birthday. Later, Ursel prepares the special dinner. They eat. And during the night, Isaac continues worrying about his father, for he promised him that he would return before his birthday. She tells him that in case he is late, he left him a gift. It is a small dagger. Meanwhile, Elizabeth waits for morning, as Weston is on his way to the shore when a group of pirates has already landed there. The leader scout sees his chain and is greedy for it. Early in the morning, Elizabeth leaves the letter to Isaac. Ursel wakes up to the sound of the bell. She gets up and sees that Elizabeth is gone from the window. She then sees some men coming who are Scout and his team. She quickly locks the back door, wakes up Isaac, ties up his crutches, and hides him in secret space under the floor. Then she gets ready with her gun as the men's voices get louder. She tells them they are a peaceful family and want no trouble. Soon enough, the roof is torn and a couple of men jump down. She tries to fight and crawl out. She notices a necklace of Bodden on them. She yields as Scout comes in. She is asked for the money, and she shows their savings, which frustrates Scout, and he asks for the gold. She once more tries fighting, but they pin him down. She whispers to Isaac that she is fine. Scout shows her the gold and asks for more. She then quiets down and asks him who he is. Scout leaves, telling his men to make her speak. In the meantime, Connor has landed on the shore. Castod Drayton chats with Pastor Bradley when he notices the man standing nonchalantly. He approaches him and asks for his identity. He turns back and introduces himself in an intimidating manner as his fleet is rowing towards the island. Elizabeth has reached the shore to meet with Weston, but finds him dead and cries out. Bradley notices the unusual commotion and asks one man to look to the sea, and they see the boats coming. Bradley tells one man to take everyone inside the church. The siren is rung, and they all run. Drayton realizes Connor is a pirate. He asks him for the address of Bodden's wife. He refuses to tell him. They prepare the cannon, but the army led by Lee shoots them down. Connor pushes away Drayton. The pirates in the room torment Ursel when Isaac finally calls her out. They realize the boy is under the floor, and Ursel speaks out in their language. They get surprised, and she finally gets in action. She gets rid of their hold, cuts off the rope, and begins a fight as the pirates easily finish off the soldiers on the island, among whom Connor alone ends half of them. Ursel gets into a full-fledged fight and stabs them mercilessly. She finishes one of them, and the other splashes her out of the window. Drayton somehow goes to the cannon and lights it up, but Connor easily puts it out. Ursel crawls and finds a conch to beat the man down, eventually ending him fully. The rest of the gang has landed on the shore, while Elizabeth runs to the beach to see the situation. She hides in a barn. Connor greets Lee and says no one leaves the island until he gets his property. Drayton tells them that soon the British fleet will get here and capture them. Connor asks him the location of the island's distress signal, but Drayton laughs, indicating a no. He then asks Lee to point the cannon towards the church where all the kids and women are hiding. Helplessly, Drayton tells him the location. Connor then tells them to stay hidden if they want to remain alive as he points the cannon at Drayton. Elizabeth sees the horror of his demise. Scout comes in and tells them that they have subdued the woman. Meanwhile, Ursel gets into her home and gets Isaac out. She tells him it will be okay. She prepares her gun when she suddenly hears someone coming. It is merely the pastor. Bradley informs her that there is a whole gang out there, led by a vile man. Ursel seems to know the man. He says that they are looking for her and innocent people are dying, and she is probably the only one who can stop them, calling her captain. She tells him never to call her that again. Isaac then hands her a letter from Elizabeth, running away with Weston. He then says he cannot find his dagger as she gets it out of the past man. She ties him up to his chair and lets Bradley run away with him through the mangroves. She hands him a gun and is about to meet them once she finds Elizabeth. Elizabeth is running through the cornfield. Ursel, on her way to find her, hides in the bushes. As Elizabeth finds a dead end, she reaches her and grabs her from behind. She is relieved to see Ursel and tells her about Weston. Ursel comforts her. She says she knows a shortcut through the field and they have to move now. The pirates have come into Ursel's house and see the bodies. Lee taunts Scout as one pirate says that there must have been someone to help her. She couldn't do this alone, but Lee says they don't know the woman they are dealing with. Lee orders his men to go capture her for real this time. Connor sees through the house and, seeing the prints on the sand, realizes that Ursel has a son who is crippled. In between the jungle, Bradley and Isaac have to let go of the chair. They soon hear some rustling noises. He gets prepared with a gun, but it's Ursel and Elizabeth. Later, Connor and his men come across the place and find the chair. By then, Ursel and the others had reached the river. She pulls up the boat and sends her son and Elizabeth on the other side. They are frightened of the vulnerability of the boat and the huge crocodile on the water, but they somehow manage to get to the other side. Ursel also manages to reach the other side. But when it's Bradley's turn, Connor's team has reached there. He asks them to get going, and Ursel denies, but seeing them get closer, she has to leave. Connor reaches Bradley and remembers him from the past, confirming with a mark from his chest. Ursel gets the kids to a safe spot and rides a tree to keep an eye on the event. She sees Connor shooting at Bradley's leg. Soon, the pirates notice her in the tree and shoot. She falls down and Bradley shoots them, only to be gunned down. She runs away. Connor stops the men from firing, saying they need them alive. The pirates go into the river, and soon the crocodile eats one of them. Some of them manage to get to the other side. Ursel hides the kids under a tree and pulls the men to her. The pirates get out of the river. Ursel hacks and chops the pirates. Connor shoots the crocodile, and it returns to the water. One pirate finds the kids, but Isaac stands before with his dagger. However, Ursel jumps from behind and hews him to death. Just then, Connor yells out Bloody Mary. Ursel stops, and he says that if his son knows who she really is. He says that they are not the ones he should be afraid of. He asks her to yield, but she throws a cut head at his feet. He then names her husband and says for the sake of his life, she should give herself up. She agrees. She then takes them towards a cave, saying it's the only safe place on the island. They pass through an alley to the secret cave. In there, she opens a secret passage. They get down. She brings out a shovel and starts digging the ground. As Elizabeth grills her to know of her past, she only says that Connor is a vicious pirate and a cruel murderer. Lee tells his son about the identity of Ursel, who used to be a fierce pirate working side by side with Connor. But she stabbed him and ran away, stealing his gold. Elizabeth continues asking more about her. She said her family was a servant on the ship when a group of pirates attacked and slaughtered her parents. She was only 12 years old. She was kidnapped and forced to raise brutal like them and got the name Bloody Mary. She digs out a box from there. Meanwhile, the pirates bring Bodden to Lee. Inside the box are all the golds. She says it was supposed to be buried till she was gone. She then opens up a bunch of firearms. She and Connor stole them together, and Connor thinks everything belongs to him. As Connor and Lee sit together, Connor explains that, as much as the gold, they need to get Ursel as well. Ursel sticks some glue around the box, and when Isaac plays with a grenade, she drives them out. She then opens up a box where lies her old armor. She wears it and gets some grenades ready, attaching pull-up strings. She gets some guns prepared and goes out. Meanwhile, Connor brings Bodden in front of him and says how he and Ursel used to be true partners in all ways, indicating they were lovers as well. Bodden says he is lying, but Connor doesn't tell much. While Ursel is out, Elizabeth is entertained, playing with some of her things. She then finds some books and documents. Reading through, she finds out a bounty paper with her face on it. Ursel gets up from a well through the secret path. The guards are all there as Lee's son says he smells death in the air. Lee tells him not to worry, while Ursel jumps out. The guards keep on whistling to keep updating their positions. She throws the grenades, keeping them unaware. She then secretly takes them one after the other. Sliding under the house, she slits another, and, getting through the secret entrance, she kills the guard inside. She burns smoke to bring out another and empty the house. Then, she finally gets to reunite with Baden. He asks about the others, and she tells him they are safe. Meanwhile, one guard does not get a whistle back from another. They get all alerted. She realizes the locks can't be picked. Baden asks her about her past with Connor. She says all she had to do was to survive, and Baden understands that saying it changes nothing between them. She then gives him a weapon and says they will make the trade. Connor gets in and finds Baden alone. By then, Ursel has gotten to the well, and the pirates hold her at gunpoint. She holds the explosive ropes with her hand. She remembers Lee from there. He orders one of his men to capture her, but as they approach, she blows the grenade. Connor comes out. She then slowly pulls out the box of gold and presents it in front of them. They bring out Baden, and his ties are released. Connor tries intimidating him as he heads on, but Ursel calls him forward. Connor then brings up the topic of his betrayal. She says she took what she owed. He says he saved her, otherwise she would be in a brothel somewhere. He further says he could not teach him properly now that he is stuck with a crippled son. Angered, Baden charges at him, and the pirates attack towards Ursel but get finished one by one. Baden and Connor keep on fighting as Ursel finishes them one by one and engages in a battle with Lee. Baden can't keep up with Connor, and when he pins him down, Ursel gives up her weapon and surrenders. She requests that he leave Baden. However, Connor reminds her of how she stabbed him in the ribs, missing his heart, and shows him the right spot as he finishes Baden, and Lee shoots at her leg. Ursel breaks down as Baden slowly passes away, saying their farewell. Connor eventually approaches her and holds her weak, asking why she betrayed him. She says he should have just taken the gold. He says the gold is for his crew. He came for the bounty on her head. Just then, she burns down a rope on the well as Connor immediately lets her fall. The fire leads to the box of gold, exploding it. Ursel manages to hide as the stones fall over. Elizabeth reads the documents and gets to know her history, how she ended up here and remained hidden, but she can't read her real name. In the meantime, Ursel comes down and falls frail. Lee's son has died in the explosion. He curses at Connor, saying their object was only to get the gold, not to follow his obsession with Ursel. He says he will not give another sailor's life for this and is about to return, but Connor stops him, forcing him into a duel, in which Lee loses and he shoots him dead. He then approaches the rest of the pirates, informing them about the bounty on Ursel. She is a notorious criminal, and whoever gets to finish her will get a lifetime pardon. They don't have to keep running anymore, and can sail freely all across the world, instead of always watching their backs. He then asks if they are with him in killing Bloody Mary, and they all hail in enthusiasm. Elizabeth stitches the bullet wound of Ursel. She pours some alcohol on it and eases the pain. She then tells them that Baden is gone. They all break down but stay along. Scout finds the way out from where Ursel ran. Elizabeth shows Ursel the bounty on her head, asking if she really did all that crime. She says yes, but Elizabeth says she has still managed to keep them alive, and they need her. Ursel says they have to survive till sunrise when she can light the smoke as a distress signal. They have a boat ready and have to escape from that, while Ursel has to fight them back. Elizabeth says she doesn't have to do all these alone. Together, they begin to prepare the traps. The pirates are slowly going towards a cave and eventually reach the spot. Ursel asks them to get going towards the boat. Isaac is afraid she won't be able to drive it. Ursel tells him that he started swimming before he could walk. He is a born sailor, and she drives them out. The pirates come in. Scout sees a door on the ground and lets one man open it with the wheel, but the guy gets shot. Ursel hides, but they see her soon and shoot at her. Soon a gunfight breaks out. She hides and concisely shoots down all of them. However, Connor keeps surviving them. She then heads to the dark caves. While on their way out, Elizabeth and Isaac get attacked by Scout at the gate. She notices Weston's locket on him, of which the other half is on her. Isaac manages to injure him. They try to run the other way, but hear some men coming. Ursel beats them down one after another. Elizabeth lets Isaac go and start the boat as she gets held by Scout. He knocks her down, but she grabs a rope for a trap and pins him to the wall. Then she snatches the locket and leaves. Ursel continues finishing off the pirates, and eventually they are all gone, keeping only Connor alive. Isaac starts the boat, and Elizabeth comes out as well. They see that the distress signal is fired up. Isaac says she has gotten up there, but Elizabeth runs back. It's Connor who has done it, and Ursel approaches him, wondering why he did that. Connor says he wants them to come. They will find the island harboring a wanted criminal, and a valiant crew died because of her, bringing her to justice. Soon, she charges at him, and a sword fight breaks out. Connor throws her to the edge, but she recovers and attacks him back. She manages to make a slash in his neck, and he furiously charges at her. She stabs him in the rib, but it doesn't work much as he knocks her head and makes her drop her weapon. He knocks her further and tells her to yield, but she won't. He throws her into the fire, and she grabs a blazing log and begins attacking again. However, once more, she is defeated and holds the sword to her heart to finish her off. She tells him to go ahead, and just as he is about to go on, he gets shot. It's Elizabeth. She takes the chance and attacks him again, and finally stabs him through the heart. He calls her his Mary, and eventually falls dead. Elizabeth hurries to tend her. She then tells her real name, which is Miriam. Isaac drives the boat and finds out that the real gold is in there. The church bell rings, and everyone comes out. The British Army fleet is also on its way to the island. You were watching the recap of the 2026 movie The Bluff. For more recaps like this, stay subscribed to the channel, and if you have liked this video, you may also like this.